So we are now in the untimed portion of the top 8, the top 4 is what we've got going on here.
Yeah, we've got 2 exciting matches going on our featured match here. We have Jesse Livingston and Andre Lacoursierre. Jesse's playing red-white humans, and Andre is on a green-white mid-range deck.
Yeah.
The other
He calls
two
it aggro.
He calls it aggro. Okay, it's aggro. The other 2 players in our top 4, which will not be covered, are the energy decks, which we actually featured both players earlier today.
Yep, Cody Gamble and Kyle Rudder.
Exactly, so we got an energy mirror match going on there, which will put one of them into the finals.
Yeah.
And then
it's going to be energy versus white aggro deck. Base white aggro deck with some other splash.
Should be a good couple of games.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm not certain which of the players has the play for this.
Alright. Is that a bit better?
Just working on the microphone volumes here. It'll be interesting to see. Okay. So we got Andre on the play. He was the higher seed.
Perfect.
With a slightly slower deck than the red-white, I'd imagine being on the play. Definitely good to have. I think in this matchup, both players would love to be on the play, obviously.
For sure. A bit of unfocusing going on there. Alright, Jesse with an ideal start. Turn 1 creature that also makes an artifact. That's going to be a big thing in his deck. He's probably got Inventor's Apprentices as well.
Standard's Curd Ape. Gotta have an artifact in play. You get yourself a 1-mana 2/3.
Yeah.
Alright, Andre.
And Andre has the 2nd mana. Looks like he's just shipping back the turn. Doesn't have a 2-drop. Definitely showing a more mid-rangey side of his aggro deck.
No problems there, though. We'll see if Jesse's got a great 2-drop to complement his 1.
Might just be putting down a Smuggler's Copter, getting ready for an attack on turn 3. And there we have it. Just gonna charge in for 1 with the Inspector.
Do you want to try the full screen?
Oh yeah, forgot that we have that. There we go.
A little bigger view
now
for.
You don't have to look at our ugly mugs.
Bigger view for those at home. We've got a Thalia.
Andre's first spell, Thalia, pretty effective. That's gonna mean that Jesse's gonna have to crew the copter with his Thraben Inspector. His own Thalia entering town.
It's a mirror world. I really like that interaction, Thalia versus the white-red vehicles deck, because one of the major advantages to playing the copter is it kind of gives all your creatures haste.
Yeah, in the sense that they just turn into the copter.
Exactly. That's always the interplay there, because normally a vehicle would be kind of counterintuitive to an aggro deck where you're not really playing a creature that turn.
Yeah.
Because you then have to, it's almost like an aura. So it takes away one of your creatures, but the whole crew at the turn you play a creature, it makes up for that.
And Andre following up back-to-back great 3-drops in standard, Tireless Tracker to accompany
tracker should definitely be tapped.
Yes. If the players haven't caught that, then if our spotter upstairs could correct that the
Declaration is stowed on the Thalias.
Yeah.
Free up that. We'll get a crew going. And a swing for 6. It'll be a loot trigger here. Although it looks like players are kind of writing down damage already.
Alright, looks like Andre's going to be going down to 9. Wow. Very fast start from Jesse. And Jesse making sure to gain the advantage, making sure to get his loots in off the scooter.
Andre, no interest in having a blocker against a 3/2 first striker. He's gonna crash in with Tireless Tracker here.
Sorry, Andre's at 10, not 9.
Okay. Could be all the difference. When you're dealing in increments of 3 anyways.
Yeah. And there we have a Sylvan Advocate. Looks like Andre missed his 5th land drop though.
Interested in what he has if he didn't sacrifice a clue to deal 1 more damage. If he's just representing a 2-mana spell.
And there's a Pia Nalar. He's going to be very effective. The Thopter is going to be able to crew that copter. And he's going to be able to get in for a bunch of damage here.
Helicopters and helicopters. I don't quite get it.
There we have it. Attacking for 6. 3 of it's in the air. Andre can't touch it. And at this point,
Yeah, definitely
just
a
cracking off a clue.
good showing
He's going to
from...
chump the Thalia, though, with the Advocate. Of course, if he doesn't have any more lands coming soon, it wouldn't have been a big player in this game anyways. Looks like he actually drew another Sylvan Advocate.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting to the point where you kind of have to make your blocks. You know, he's got 4 flying power a turn now.
At this point, the Gideon that's stuck in his hand, that's been in his hand since he started the game, not very effective. Basically, it'll just make a chump blocker for Thalia each turn.
Yeah, actually just going for another clue sacrifice here. Maybe he just needed to hit that land, and if he wasn't going to hit it, he knew he's not in the game anyways.
So a bunch of triggers there. The clue, the +1/+1 counter on the Tireless Tracker, the energy counter.
Yeah, there should be a second counter on
Tireless Tracker.
If they catch it. Really impressed by the red-white showing here. Just on the draw. Really doesn't even feel like it was on the draw at any point.
Yeah.
I don't know if... I guess Andre missing his 2 just... was too critical here. Oh, got the old elbows on the table. Players always do that when they're losing. Seems to be.
Yeah. So Jesse just crewing up the copter.
Interesting crew decision there to use a flyer.
Yeah, at this point, with the Thopter able to attack on its own, you'd think that Thraben Inspector would be the one crewing.
That's what I would have pegged it at, but Jesse might have more.
Jesse only has to deal, what would it be, 5 damage. He has the mana with Pia to sacrifice that Thopter and deal
That's
2.
the wrong Pia. Kieran's the one who can do 2 damage from Pia and Kieran, but if you just type Pia Nalar, you'll see that she doesn't deal damage. She
it's true. She gives
she can pump.
Block.
She can pump the copter.
Okay, that's why he crewed with the Thopter, so you could sacrifice it to make so the Sylvan Advocate couldn't block.
Oh, it's only blocker.
Yeah.
Well, really tight play from Jesse. I hadn't quite looked into it too much at that point. I guess he just had lethal that turn on board, and there we have it. Game 1 goes to Jesse. It's always nice to brick serve on the draw there and steal a game. It's going to be an uphill battle now for Andre to...
Yeah, and a great way to start the battle for the playmat.
Definitely.
Jesse's got to feel confident here. I believe he was... oh no, Jesse was the 3rd seed, so he wasn't undefeated.
No, our undefeated player is Kyle.
Right.
In the energy deck, who is...
we saw in round 1.
Yeah, we had a draw in the final round for everyone. So he was the lone 10-point player. We'll see as Andre decides which cards don't quite mesh against this aggressive red-white humans deck. And really, Jesse not even relying on any humans. There are no Thalia's Lieutenant or...
It's true.
Any of that.
I mean, some of the great spells he cast the game were humans. Pia, Thraben Inspector, Thalia. But Smuggler's Copter did a lot of the working in that game.
This is what it does. I mean, 2 mana for 3 power. Looting, it's a heck of a looter.
And now we're going to have to see if Andre can come back this time.
Maybe with coppers of his own. I know they're both playing them.
Yeah.
Interesting innovation that Andre's trying today. I know he has Forgive me, I don't recall the name. It's an enchantment, and it pumps all your creatures. Non-tokens.
Always watching.
Always watching. He's always watching. He's got, I think, 2 copies.
This time I get to be the one who knows the names of the cards.
There you
Instead
go.
of fumbling around getting Ryan to help me out.
Yeah, that's why he put me in here. He said, alright, I gotta be the one to look good.
At least you know what Pia does.
That's true. Yeah, it was her late husband who was able to throw copters at your face
That's true.
for damage. She's lonely now.
That being said, 1 mana less just makes 1 less copter, so you lose that 1 power and toughness, and the abilities really are pretty much just as versatile.
It's a lot of text for a 3-mana creature. You're going to get 2 bodies. You're going to be able to pump the flyer. You're going to be able to pump other artifact creatures you have in play. If you have extra clues, if you have extra thopters, you can get blockers out of the way. And for just 1 mana, that's pretty good. I was watching some games where they were using the clues to prevent blocking. And it's, it costs 1 mana less than sacrificing the clue. And if the card you'd want to draw is a falter type effect, I mean, that's just perfect. If you're hoping to draw removal to remove a threat to kill them, you might as well pay 1 less.
Be interested to see if Andre is bringing in Cataclysmic Gearhulks. He doesn't already have them in the main board. Seems like a very effective card in this matchup, just being able to limit how many creatures Jesse is left with.
Mm-hmm.
And also, funny interaction, it used to be between Tragic Arrogance and Tireless Tracker, but now it's the Gearhulk and Tireless Tracker. Tireless Tracker gains a +1/+1 counter whenever you sacrifice a clue.
Ha!
So, if you play the Cataclysmic Gearhulk and you have a bunch of clues lying around, if you end up sacrificing them to the Gearhulk, they still make your tracker bigger.
That's interesting. I'm not sure if Andre has that card. I took a look through his main deck, and they weren't in the main, but he might have had them in the sideboard. He doesn't have a lot of the Kaladesh cards in his deck, I don't believe, but definitely all the Virtuous Gearhulks.
Oh, looks like Andre drew his Thraben Inspector on turn 2. Not quite on curve there.
Not quite on curve.
But this time he did have the 2-drop right on turn 2.
And Jesse did not have a 1-drop.
Yeah.
This is going to be but the Copter on 2 really just puts you right back in it.
Yeah.
Is
that a Blossoming Defense on that Andre just drew?
I didn't quite catch his hand. The players are being a little shy with their hands this game. Yeah, I believe
that
that's
looks like it right at the
multiple Blossoming Defenses even. We've got a tap land.
And now he's going to play that Thraben Inspector. And looks like he's just going to keep up the Blossoming Defense, maybe to defend his Advocate against the Harness Lightning, if that's what Jesse wants to do.
Yeah, it looks like that's just by necessity from his hand. He didn't have a 2.
And yeah, that is 2 copies of Blossoming Defense in his hand, as well as the Gideon.
Yeah. It'd be a pretty interesting play for Jesse to not just put down a creature this turn. And
there
we
the
have
Harness
it.
Lightning, and there's the Blossoming Defense.
So, I mean...
Jesse sorely lacking a 1-power creature to get in with the Thopter there.
Yeah. Rough that he wasn't able to apply a real creature to the board, and this is one of those situations where a vehicle doesn't put up about the only time where it's not excellent.
There's an always watching from Andre. He's going to be able to smash in for 5. Missed his 4th land drop, though. That Gideon might be quite a ways away from hitting the field.
Yeah.
Jesse, this time, Declaration Stone. A bit better for Andre, in the sense that he gets that other clue.
And still
if he starts hitting his land drops, he's going to be able to really start getting some card advantage.
Yeah. I mean, Jesse having to be on the back foot and play removal spells here, that's not...
There's the 4th land from Andre, coming in tapped. It's unfortunate for him, so he's not going to be able to deploy the Gideon. He still gets he's going to be able to crack a clue. He's going to have the Blossoming Defense up, and he just has to decide whether or not Blossoming Defense is a fair trade for a harness or protecting his Thraben Inspector is worth it.
So I'm going to draw the clue first. I like that idea. I think this might be a little bit...
Looks like he wants to keep his 1-drop.
I think that might be a little bit of a... You have cards, you want to play them. I don't know if that card was worth saving, but
and
nonetheless,
we see Jesse crewing the Copter with his own Thraben Inspector.
Mm-hmm.
One of the inspectors here is considerably better on its own, but when the other one is in the looter scooter, that scooter's a bit better.
Yeah. So now the Gideons can be pressured.
It's true.
And if Jesse's able to deploy either DePaulo or Veteran Motorist...
It's like Andre got another land.
Oh, we're going straight to Hulk.
Ooh, Verdant Gear
Hulk smash.
It's going to make that a very big 3-bit inspector.
Probably just going all the way.
Yeah, it can be
Going
smashing
for
for
6.
6. Wow.
Gear Hulk's a powerhouse. You just gotta survive.
And he's got a 6/7 3-bit inspector, a 5/5 trample Gear Hulk.
Both his creatures are out of Harness Lightning range, and I do see Jesse with a third, I believe. Third Harness Lightning in this game. So
no spare energy counters.
Which is a great advantage of the hexproof from the +2/+2 spell there, Blossoming Defense.
Yep.
When he played the first one, I was going to say, oh, it's interesting that Jesse didn't bank the energy, but that's because you can't. I was thinking, oh, you get +2/+2, your creature doesn't die. But no, you just get hexproof.
Indeed.
Well, Jesse's got removal
Declaration
spells.
Stone. Plenty of removal there. That being said, the Gear Hulk's going to be able to smash through either the Inspector or the Copter, whichever one Jesse chooses to block with.
Yeah, somebody's got to. And Trample here doing its work.
Yep, going to bring Jesse down to 3, I believe. No, down to 2.
Down to 2. See there, I believe Jesse should probably have crewed the Copter.
Yeah,
It's a creature that requires another creature in order to be useful. It loots when you block. If he had any hope, that might be it, although it seems Andre's really run away with this game. There shouldn't be too much that Jesse could do to come back from this. I guess one more deck in stone and Andre's got no creatures, but...
Yeah, he could double Harness Lightning if he just drew one.
3 and 4.
So he's got a Thalia's Lieutenant. Even if he crews the Copter, that Verdant Gear Hulk is still going to be lethal.
He's going to need something, and I don't think he has it. Smash, and that is the game.
Yeah, Jesse just scooping. Realizes that he doesn't have enough toughness out there.
Yeah.
If he had blocked the Gear Hulk with the Copter instead of with the 3-bit Inspector, he would have been able to live one more turn. But even one more turn's not going to get him much, especially if he was about to drop a Gideon.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if he had blocked with, because he would have 2 creatures there.
Yes, he would have. Oh yeah, and the 3-bit Inspector would be at 2/3. So he would have 4 toughness.
And he had 1 more life and 4 toughness, so he could even leave the Thalia's Lieutenant in play.
That's true.
Go down to 1. And you draw some amazing spell that puts 50 humans on the battlefield. I haven't seen that card yet, but... I mean, it rotated. And it cost X and white.
Secure the Wastes.
Secure the Wastes.
Such a good card.
Definitely
I played that in my Esper Dragons control deck back when that was in Standard.
Ooh, it looks like Jesse has a Ride Down in his deck. That's an interesting one.
That is interesting.
Destroys blocking creatures only.
Yeah, destroy target blocking creature and all creatures blocked by it gain trample.
Kind of negating the downfall of most combat-only removal spells.
Yeah.
Which is that the creature's already blocked, so you're not going to deal damage. And this one says, well, maybe I will. But you've got to be aggressive for that card, otherwise it's blank. If you're not attacking, you're not doing anything. So if that game's any indication as to how it can go, I don't think Jesse ever turned a card sideways.
No.
Except to get into a helicopter.
Yes.
Oh, players just double checking some of their sideboarding options. Maybe something's better on the play, better on the draw.
So we've got a tied up match here. Jesse's finally going to be able to be on the play. Hopefully he has a faster start than the last game. He definitely wants to see a 1-drop into the Copter into another creature or two.
You really want to
That's
go
the
1, 2,
ideal
3.
curve.
You can miss on one if your three's powerful.
Yeah. But I think ideally he wants the Inventor's Apprentice. That way, when he plays the Copter, he gets to attack for 2 with the Apprentice on turn 2, and then turn 3, a Pio or a Thalia,
Yeah.
something that can either just put him far ahead or slow Andre down a bit more.
Exactly. This red-white deck, I've seen so many different variations, so many builds.
Yeah, there's the red-white vehicles, the red-white humans, the red-white dwarves. There really are.
I've seen just red-white aggro, the lowest to the ground, with Reckless Bushwhacker and actually a card called, I believe, Weapons Master or Weapons Trainer.
Yeah.
Which is a 3/2 for, it's weapons something. It's not in Jesse's deck, but I was really impressed. It's a 3/2 for red and white, and as long as you have an equipment,
Weapon Trigger.
there we go.
Coming
As
up.
long as you have an equipment, all your creatures get pumped.
Oh wow, doesn't even have to be equipped to anything.
No, which is very, very odd for an equipment, but that's where I thought that card was pretty interesting in that it pumps your whole team, and he was playing with Captain's Claws as his equipment of choice, which will make you 1/1s when you attack, and those 1/1s will be 2/1s, and just such a low to the ground deck with it had the Bushwhacker to give everyone haste and attack, and
Yeah, it seems very useful.
very low to the ground deck, and I thought this is just another red-white.
Here we have Jesse starting off with Thraben Inspector. Andre's gonna probably wish he had his own to match.
But you got an Aether Hub on turn 1. I'm surprised by the amount of Aether Hubs I see played as the first land. It seems to me like the kind of land you play when you need to.
That being said, Andre's hand might be a bit land light. I think I saw a forest, but I don't think I saw any others.
Yeah. We've got just a swing for 1 and a tap land from Jesse, so a little bit of reprieve there that he's not able to deploy a 2 or even sacrifice a clue.
Oh, there we see Andre has way more lands than I thought he did.
At
And a
least
fortified village for Feeling the Plains.
2 more. It looks like he's got both his Always Watchings. It's a good card, but I don't think you usually want 2. Here's another powerful card that...
Oh, Hanweir Garrison. Yeah, so effective. Each time it attacks, it's going to get Jesse a 1/1 attacking creature. Ooh.
Didn't quite work for you. Oh, you got remoted?
Yeah.
Okay. The good thing here is Andre can play defense with the Copter. It's a little risky into Harness Lightning, but...
Oh, it makes 2 1/1 red human.
Yes. Attacking. Very good with Thalia's Lieutenant.
Very,
It was
very
also in that deck I was talking about. Very good with Weapons Trainer. 2/1s.
And speaking of Thalia's Lieutenant, that's going to make
I guess this will let him
Garrison
attack.
big enough to eat the
Yeah. To at least go in on
either
block.
the Copter or the Advocate,
Yeah.
and the Thraben Inspector will be able to bounce off the Advocate, but it will still die to the Copter.
Yeah, I imagine that Andre will fire up the Copter and just block one of these 1/1s.
So we've got 2
That way
1
he can
tokens.
keep
So we'll
his-
see if Jesse remembers to put 2+1/+1 counters on his Thalia's Lieutenant. There it
Looks
is.
like he does. That's definitely a key interaction there.
Yeah, it's so effective, those 2 cards together. There we have an activation of the Copter. Looks like it's going to be blocking the Thraben Inspector.
Oh, it was just
Andre's
a
going to
2/3.
get his free loot.
I don't know why I was
Looks like he feels
thinking.
he has too many lands.
I was thinking that he couldn't block the Thraben Inspector. Obviously, that's the bigger card, the better one to block.
And now Jesse's going to be able to keep spewing out those 1/1s, and each time he does that, Thalia's Lieutenant's just going to get scarier and scarier.
He's looking at a 5/5 as it is if he can't remove one of the 2 of them. But if he can deploy a big enough creature, to try to stonewall some of this before it gets out of hand. I think that's his best chance. If the garrison gets to attack and live again, I think that it's going to be pretty hard to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Well, just passing of the turn from Andre here. He's clearly got something up his sleeve, maybe a stasis snare or something like that.
There we see the inspector coming in, growing that lieutenant a little bit. Pia Nalar. Now that lieutenant is 5-5 before any attacks are declared. Once that garrison is turned sideways, that lieutenant's going to be a 7-7.
Definitely.
It's going to be very scary. 7-7 for 2 mana.
Reasonable. Don't forget it pumped 2 of his creatures when he played.
Oh, that's 2.
So,
that's true.
So let's not downplay the card. It's just Tarmogoyf with an anthem.
And he didn't forget to grow his Thalia's Lieutenant again. It is now a 7-7, so he's attacking with a 3-4, 4/1/1s, and a 7-7. And Andre, unfortunately, didn't have that stasis snare.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of cards to play at this point. Just gonna crew and block. take a beating.
Yeah.
Oh, he has immolating glare, so he had to let it attack. Oof.
Looks like he's gonna be chump blocking the garrison and glaring the lieutenant.
Maybe
Oh, he's gonna do his loot too.
Blossoming Defense to make his copter a 5/5 would be okay.
It would be alright.
Nope. It's just 4 damage coming across here.
Yep. And Andre is left in a very difficult situation. This is where Cataclysmic Gearhulk would
That would be what you want.
It would help even out the game. It would bring Jesse down to just a Thopter in the garrison. And the 4/5 Gearhulk would be able to block the garrison.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
looks like Andre just
Andre says, I can see.
Jesse's going to take it in 3.
Very,
and
very
he's
strong.
going to be playing against one of those red-green
energy decks, and we will find out who in just a few moments.